There is a truth the world will not tell you, but it is one you must embrace. Nobody cares. Nobody is watching your every move, waiting to hand you a victory. Nobody is waking up every morning thinking of how to bless your life. Nobody is coming to rescue you. But that is not a reason to despair. It is a reason to rise. From the time we are young, we are conditioned to seek approval. A child looks to the parents for affirmation, a student waits for the teacher's praise, and an employee longs for recognition from a supervisor. It is embedded in human nature to desire validation. The problem is that this desire, if unchecked, becomes a trap, a prison that locks you into a life of seeking, waiting, and hoping for something that was never meant to sustain you. People chase approval, thinking that if they receive enough applause, enough recognition, enough admiration, they will finally feel fulfilled. But the truth is, external validation is a mirage. It is a shadow that moves as you chase it, always just out of reach. Even when you obtain it, it fades quickly, leaving you thirsty for more. The problem is not that approval exists, but that it was never meant to be the foundation upon which you build your life. Some spend their entire lives waiting for the world to recognize them. They hold back on their dreams, afraid to move forward unless someone gives them permission. They hesitate in their purpose because they fear criticism. They dim their light because they are afraid of what others might say. But the world is not paying as much attention as they think. People are consumed with their own struggles, their own doubts. They are not standing around waiting to applaud you. The greatest mistake a person can make is tying their work to the reactions of others. When you work for applause, you will be controlled by it. When you live for validation, you become a slave to opinions. But opinions are fleeting. What is praised today is forgotten tomorrow. Those who cheer for you now may turn against you later. If your confidence is based on how others see you, then your confidence is fragile. The most successful people are not the ones who waited for the world to approve of them. They are the ones who move forward despite the silence. They understood that purpose is not something that needs to be approved. It is something that needs to be lived. There are many people with potential who never step into their destiny because they are waiting for someone to tell them they are good enough. But what if that validation never comes? Does that mean their purpose is any less real? The illusion of approval is that it makes people believe they need something outside of themselves to be worthy. But the truth is, worth is not assigned by men. The world does not determine your value. Your talent, your calling, your work, none of it is diminished because others fail to recognize it. Those who rise to the top are not the ones who were celebrated from the beginning. They are the ones who kept going, who built in the shadows, who understood that the only validation they needed was the conviction in their own heart. If you need applause to keep working, you are not committed enough to the work. True commitment is doing the work regardless of who sees. True greatness is forged in seasons of being overlooked, dismissed, and ignored. People often think they need a platform before they begin. They believe they must be noticed before they start moving. But it is not the applause that brings success. It is the persistence, the work, the unseen discipline. It is the willingness to move forward when no one is watching, knowing that every step taken in faith is a step closer to the vision. Those who depend on approval will always be at the mercy of those who give it. But those who understand that their path does not require permission will always find a way forward. The greatest freedom you will ever experience is the moment you stop seeking validation and start pursuing your purpose with unwavering focus. There is something powerful about the unseen places, the moments where no one is watching, no one is applauding, and no one is acknowledging the effort being put in. It is in these moments that true greatness is forged. The world often celebrates the result, the victory, the achievement, but it rarely acknowledges the process. The process is lonely. The process is quiet. The process is unseen. But it is in this process that transformation happens. Most people want recognition before they put in the work. They want to be celebrated before they have built anything. They want success without sacrifice. But every great story, every great leader, every great success was born in the hidden places, where discipline was cultivated, where focus was sharpened, and where endurance was tested. The world only sees the final product, but it is the hours of dedication behind closed doors that make that product possible. There is a reason why the most successful people in any field spend years refining their craft before anyone even knows their name. A musician spends thousands of hours practicing before stepping onto a stage. An athlete trains in silence long before the crowds begin to cheer. A writer fills pages with unseen words before a book is ever published. The foundation of success is always built in the shadows, far away from the public eye. It is a slow, steady process that requires patience, persistence, and an unwavering commitment to the vision. Many people give up because they feel invisible. They work hard, yet no one acknowledges them. They pour their heart into something, yet it seems as though no one notices. But recognition is not the sign of progress. Visibility is not the same as value. Just because the world does not see what is happening does not mean nothing is happening. The seed that is planted in the soil is hidden, but it is growing. The foundation of a building is buried, but it is what holds everything together. The work done in the shadows is what prepares a person for the light. The problem with chasing recognition too soon is that it creates a fragile success. If a person has not built their character, their skills, or their discipline in the quiet seasons, they will not be able to sustain the weight of success when it comes. The world has seen many people rise quickly, only to fall just as fast because they lack the foundation that is only built in private. The process of working in the shadows is not a punishment. It is a preparation. It is a refining fire that strengthens, shapes, and equips a person for what is to come. Most will not endure this process because it requires trust. It requires trusting that even though no one is watching, the work is worth it. It requires trusting that even though the results are not immediate, the investment will pay off. It requires trusting that even though the journey feels lonely, it is leading to something greater. Those who cannot endure being unseen will never experience the fullness of what is possible. There is a time for visibility, a time for recognition, a time for the work to be revealed. But that time will come only for those who are willing to stay committed when no one is clapping, when no one is noticing, and when no one is giving approval. The ability to work in the shadows without losing momentum is what separates those who succeed from those who quit. The true test of commitment is not how a person performs when the spotlight is on them, but how they perform when no one is looking. Obscurity is often seen as a burden, something to escape from as quickly as possible. People believe that being unnoticed means being unimportant, that being unknown means lacking value. But the greatest transformations, the deepest growth, and the most profound breakthroughs happen in seasons of obscurity. It is not a curse, it is a gift, an opportunity to build without distraction, to grow without pressure, and to develop without interference. When no one is watching, there is freedom. Freedom to make mistakes, to refine, to experiment, and to improve. The world does not see the struggle, the failures, the late nights, and the countless hours poured into the work. And that is a good thing, because obscurity is a shield, a place where weaknesses can be confronted without the weight of external judgment. It is where a person is given the space to evolve without expectation. The spotlight may bring recognition, but it also brings scrutiny. Those who step into it too soon often crumble under its weight because they have not yet built the strength required to carry it. Most people are in a rush to be noticed, to be validated, to be acknowledged. They believe that if they are not seen, then their work does not matter. But the greatest achievements in history were not birthed in the public eye. They were cultivated in silence, in solitude, in places where no one was watching. A seed does not grow in the open air. It takes root beneath the surface, hidden from sight. A foundation is not built above ground. It is buried deep, unseen, but essential. Without this hidden stage, there is no stability, no longevity, no real success. Obscurity forces a person to focus on the work rather than the applause. It removes the temptation to perform for approval and redirects attention to the process itself. It is easy to be motivated when recognition is immediate, when praise is constant, and when validation is present. But the true test of commitment is whether the work continues even when no one is looking. Those who can endure the silence, who can push forward without affirmation, who can stay disciplined when progress is invisible. Those are the ones who build something lasting. Many abandon their purpose too soon because they mistake invisibility for failure. They believe that because no one is noticing them, they are not making progress. But growth is rarely visible in the moment. A tree does not appear strong overnight. A structure does not become sturdy instantly. The most important developments happen beneath the surface, where no one can see them. Those who embrace obscurity understand that the reward is not in being seen, but in becoming strong enough to stand when the time comes. There is no shortcut to mastery. There is no instant path to greatness. Every person who has achieved something extraordinary has gone through a season of being unknown, unrecognized, and unnoticed. It is in these seasons that patience is tested, that endurance is built, and that perseverance is developed. The temptation is always to rush ahead, to seek visibility before the foundation is ready. But those who do so often collapse under the weight of what they were not prepared to carry. Obscurity is not a prison, it is preparation. It is the place where character is shaped, where skills are sharpened, where resilience is forged. The world may not see what is happening, but that does not mean nothing is happening. The process is at work, the roots are growing, and the transformation is taking place. Those who understand this do not waste time seeking attention. They embrace the hidden seasons, knowing that when the time is right, what was built in the dark will be revealed in the light. Isolation is often misunderstood. Many see it as something to avoid, something to escape from, as if being alone is a sign of failure or rejection. But isolation is not a curse, it is a crucible. It is in the quiet moments, away from the noise of the world, that transformation takes place. It is in solitude that focus is sharpened, vision is clarified, and strength is developed. Most people fear being alone because they rely on external validation to keep going. They need the approval of others to feel worthy, the encouragement of the crowd to stay motivated, the recognition of the world to believe they are on the right path. But those who achieve great things learn to embrace the silence, to welcome the solitude, to use isolation as fuel rather than a hindrance. When the distractions are removed, when the voices fade, when the opinions of others are no longer in the way, a person is left with nothing but their own mind, their own purpose, and their own will. And that is where the real work begins. Most people never reach their full potential because they avoid these moments. They fill their time with noise, with entertainment, with social approval, because facing themselves is too uncomfortable. But those who are willing to sit in the stillness, who are willing to push through the loneliness, who are willing to stay committed even when no one is around, they are the ones who emerge stronger, more focused, and more prepared than ever before. The greatest breakthroughs in history did not happen in crowds. They happened in isolation. They happened in the long hours of working without recognition. They happened in the relentless pursuit of a goal when no one else believed. They happened in the moments where doubt tried to creep in, where quitting seemed like an option, but where the decision was made to keep going anyway. Isolation is not the absence of progress. It is often the birthplace of it. It is the time when foundations are built, when character is tested, when discipline is forged. It is where a person learns to rely on themselves, on their faith, on their vision, rather than on the fleeting opinions of the world. Most people will never understand this. They will tell you that you need to be surrounded by others, that you need constant connection, that you need validation to know you are on the right path. But the truth is, the most important work is done when no one else is there. The most significant changes happen in the seasons of solitude. The distractions of the world keep most people from ever truly knowing themselves, from ever discovering their true capability. They are too busy comparing, too busy seeking approval, too busy chasing after things that do not matter. But those who are willing to step away from the noise, to embrace the discomfort of isolation, to use that time to build, to grow, to refine. There is power in being alone. Not as a state of loneliness, but as a state of refinement. It is in these moments that decisions are made, that weaknesses are confronted, that strengths are developed. It is in these times that resilience is cultivated, that purpose is solidified, that vision is sharpened. The world may not see it, others may not understand it, but it is in these moments of isolation that the greatest transformation takes place. Those who learn to embrace it, to use it, to let it shape them rather than break them, are the ones who will step forward stronger, sharper, and more prepared than ever before. In a world obsessed with opinions, validation, and recognition, people waste their energy trying to prove themselves to others. They explain, they justify, they argue, and they seek approval. But words are empty when there is no action behind them. A person's worth is not determined by how well they can convince others. It is determined by what they produce, what they create, what they build. The greatest mistake most people make is believing they need to announce their progress, that they need to be seen at every stage, that they need immediate validation to keep going. But true power comes from doing the work in silence and letting results make the noise. The most successful people do not waste time trying to be understood. They do not chase after recognition or try to persuade others of their value. They put their heads down, they focus, and they work. They understand that, in the end, nothing speaks louder than undeniable success. Those who spend their energy proving themselves to others are the ones who fall short because their focus is split. Instead of putting everything into mastering their craft, they are distracted by the need for approval. But those who let go of that need, who pour everything into their work, who commit fully to becoming better, stronger, and more capable, they are the ones who rise above. Results silence doubt. They silence critics. They remove the need for explanations. There is no argument to be had when the proof is clear. People will always have opinions. They will doubt. They will question. They will discourage. But opinions do not change reality. Effort does. A person who is dedicated to growth, who is consistent, who is relentless in pursuit of excellence, does not need to fight battles with words. The proof is in what they have built. The proof is in their transformation, in their strength, in the life they have created. Most people fail because they seek recognition too soon. They want praise before the work is done. They want approval before they have proven themselves. But those who understand the power of results do not seek validation. They seek mastery. They know that when they become undeniable, when their success is too great to ignore, recognition will follow. Not because they demanded it, not because they argued for it, but because results speak a language no one can deny. The world does not reward effort, it rewards outcomes. It does not matter how much someone talks about their plans, their dreams, their vision. It matters what they execute, what they complete, what they turn into reality. This is why discipline matters more than motivation. This is why action matters more than intention. It is easy to talk about what will be done, but few are willing to put in the years of work, the sacrifice, the relentless pursuit of excellence required to bring it to life. Many seek shortcuts. They try to create the illusion of success before they have earned it. They chase temporary validation instead of lasting results. But the truth is, no one can fake excellence. No one can cheat mastery. No one can bypass the process and expect real success. Those who truly win are those who embrace the work, who detach from the need for recognition, and who let their results prove their worth. They do not waste energy explaining, defending, or seeking approval. They build, they create, they grow, and in the end they let their success do all the talking. Nobody cares about your excuses, your struggles, or your need for validation. The world rewards results, not intentions. Work hard in silence, embrace isolation, and focus on your growth. Let go of the need for approval and let your success speak for itself. Stay disciplined, stay committed, and remember that your journey is yours alone. The distractions, the doubts, the opinions of others, they do not define you. What defines you is the work you put in when no one is watching. Keep pushing forward, and when the results come, they will be undeniable. Stay focused, stay relentless, keep building,